Hello there guys, and welcome to our car modeling tutorial. And today in this episode what I think we will do is we're going to continue to work around the rear side of the car here. We do have a little bit of a change that I want to add just up here. After looking at some reference images, we have an additional line that we need to add a panel gap here, because with the spoiler obviously we'll either need to raise or whatever inside here, and then we'll have a go at maybe smoothing the rear bumper as well. So let's maybe start over here, and what it looks like we need to create is, it looks like we need to create a little bit of an indent down here. So in order to do that, I'm going to grab off of this point and maybe to about here. I'm just going to hit enter, so just drawing in a new line there. I'm going to jump into my isolated selection here, and I'm just going to link this all the way around the corner inside here, and then what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to follow that line in here like so. I'm going to run that through there. I'm going to check my side view, because here we can see that it cuts inside, so that's exactly what we want from this. So let's select our vertices. I'm going to shift select the next one as well, so we can edit all the vertices, and we'll grab these points here. We'll maybe just take all of these. I'm going to bring these in a little bit because obviously we want to feather it, so we'll bring that in a little bit there, and I'm going to deselect those ones, bring it in a little bit more, deselect this one, and I'm going to bring it in across there. So I've got a bit more definition inside there, and what that will allow us to do is, that will allow us now, maybe what we could do is actually add an insert edge loop, and I don't think we want to be too close here, so maybe go something like that. It should be fine, and we'll see how it looks if we just bring that over to the corner here. And let me just get rid of my wireframe. Okay, so we can start to see that element inside there, getting some nice shape to it. So let's just add the same inside here. Let's bring in the wireframe so we're in the roughly the same spots. And I'm going to insert edge loop, and we'll drop one in just about in the same region there. So let's give that a smooth as well. We know it's not going to be smooth for the most part, but we just want to make sure it's kind of going along that same, so we can see we've got some definition under there, which is good. As soon as we add in the rest of the definition, that should be fine. So I'm looking around here and I'm thinking that this panel now is there or thereabouts complete. It's a bit, subdivisions are obviously trying to recalculate the triangles there, but that's okay. I think we're looking good on there. So the last thing for this is, let's go and insert an edge loop, and we'll drop one just on this interior side, just like we have with everything else. Okay, so it's looking okay. And that should just tighten up those edges just that little bit more. So that's passing over there really nicely. It's sinking nicely around here as well. This region's a little bit tricky, so let's maybe grab our vertices here. And the reason this is tricky is just because these are defined points against a smooth object, so we're going to have the same problem as we have over here. So realistically what that means we're going to want to do is, we're just going to want to, whilst we're in our smooth mode here, we're just going to want to grab these and just move them in. Just something like that, so that they sit nicer. But when we remove the smooth, they're not going to sit perfectly flush anymore, just like they don't up there, but that's not a problem because we are going to smooth this, or use the subdivisions at least. This is the view that we're going to see this in, so that's fine. Okay, what we could maybe do next is, let's actually slice this section. So I'm going to run a line across there. There are multiple examples of this with a spoiler on here. I'm in two minds whether to do the spoiler because I think it looks really nice and clean. I often add spoilers and aftermarket wheels and things to cars, but I think I want to keep this one a little bit cleaner, so we maybe won't add the spoiler to this. I'm going to select those and hit delete. Oh, by the way, I did duplicate special everything on here, so everything's flipped over, ready to build. So remember, all I do is select the object, go to edit, and then duplicate special. This is going to break though now because I am going to go to mesh, see, and separate. So we have those two different options. I'm just going to duplicate those back. Okay, so we're looking good on there. Let me just bring my reference images in a little bit better over here. So it looks like we've got like a double step event underneath. It looks like this bit here we need to do a little bit of work, especially around the headlight. So let's maybe just grab these and I'm just going to lift them up, something like that. I'll check my rear view here because it doesn't look like this is something that we really paid too much attention to. So let's just get that in there. So maybe do something like that. And then that will allow us to grab these lower edges here. I'm going to hit Control E. I'll pull these down. Maybe just pull them out a little bit. And then we should be able to use this vertices here to position this a bit better around the tail lights. It looks fine. Okay. So we've just got that little lip because we do have like an extra vent in that area. Let's maybe have a think about smoothing this portion. I'm going to grab this, hit Control E. We're all facing in one direction. Actually, I'm going to undo that because we don't want to be selecting these central edges here. I just want the edges all the way around. I'm going to hit Control E. I'm going to pull this in on the blue. And then as usual, we're going to grab our Insert Edge Loop. What we'll do here is we do need to run one along down here, but it's going to be a little bit awkward. So let's firstly drop in 2 points using the multi-cut tool here. And I'm going to drop an edge loop over here, and then one that runs down here. We're also going to need to draw a line, something like that. We'll delete that in a second. That will allow us now to run this around the corner here and then meet up over there, and then we can bring these together as well. We don't want this triangle, it's too small and it'll break, so let's bring that up there. That looks okay. And then we don't need this edge anymore, so I'm going to click that and I'm going to hit Control Delete. And we want to do Control Delete because we want to get rid of the extra vertices that's there, so that's fine. Maybe I went a bit too high on this. I'm just going to grab my edge transform. I'm just going to pull that down a little bit closer to the bottom there. That's better. I'm going to turn that off so I don't forget. I think what we'll end up doing is we're probably just going to do the same. We're going to run up the top, down the side, and then we'll drop underneath here as well. And we'll see about what if we need to do anything here. So let's just smooth that out, see how that looks. Okay, so for the most part that's looking okay. We haven't quite got the definition that we want with this extra line here. So maybe what we'll do is put that a little bit closer. So I'm going to delete from over here and delete from over here. I'm going to insert an edge loop a little bit closer. And we'll test this one first. Okay, so we've got a defined line there, which is looking much better. Which is good. Maybe it's a bit too defined. I'm going to go just a little bit higher. That's a bit better. Because we just want the light to be reflecting off that. We don't want anything crazy going on there. So that should be okay. And then we'll do the same one here. So drop that roughly in the right spot. And take this back over. Okay, so that's looking quite nice. Let's this here is probably a little bit too we need to add a bit more structure to maybe not this bit, maybe this bit down here. Let's drop an edge loop in maybe just here. Sorry, just a multi-cut point. I'm gonna grab an edge loop and we'll drop it at this corner, which will allow me to bring that in here. I'm gonna go for an edge loop just somewhere up there, and then we can merge the difference here. Add the rest of the edge inside. Let me just move this over a little bit here. Okay, so we can see we've got a bit more of a point on there, which is what we want. It does look like we want to maintain the other side a little bit better, so maybe if we drop something in here. So we've got a little bit more to that, although it's looking a bit jagged, so let's drop a point about halfway. And then insert an edge loop nice and close down here. And then roughly in the center over here. And we'll try and bring that across. That's looking a little bit neater. You can still see that there's a little bit of an awkward point there though. And that's probably just because of this bit here. No, not liking that, so let's dial that back. Apologies for that, guys. Let's bring this back here. I'm just going to get rid of that whole line. What we'll do, we'll work with that as is just now. And then we'll maybe come back to it, should we need to, a little bit later on. So let's go and we'll just apply our blend. Yeah. Looks like it's hiking up a little bit too much. Okay, so that's looking okay. I think maybe what we might want to do is, it looks like this whole bit is just too far. Let me insert an edge to match what we have over here. Looks like this is just coming out too far, which is making it a little bit too boxy, because it does look a lot more gradual on my examples, so we'll take that in. That looks a lot better. That's good. Okay, so whilst we're here, we might as well do the spoiler, I guess. So I'm going to grab all the edges, and again, I'm going to ditch these ones. I'm going to hit Control E. And on the world, I'm just going to pull this, maybe not on the world, let's maybe pull it on the blue. Something like that should be okay. I am going to grab these vertices here. I'm going to move these in, and maybe up as well. And the reason for that is because I want to be able to see through this gap. And let's bring in some loops. We'll drop one just here, and then obviously down here, and over here. And then let's bring this one back in with our wireframe, and we want to just kind of make sure we are reflecting everything else. So it looks like we only need to run a line over here, like that. And hit 3. There we go, we can see that that's looking quite nice. You can see that's flowing nicely across there, and then around for that gap too. So that's looking quite good, so let's apply our material over here. Okay, again, we don't need to worry about this point. Once we merge them together, that'll be fine. Okay, so we're looking good, especially from the front here. Let's just smooth all of these. Okay. I now think we need to move these. So I don't think we move this as well as that. So let's move that in. Okay, so that's looking better. Okay, so that's looking quite nice. We'll start to think about the rear bumper here now. We do have parking sensors that we want to add to this lower portion here. So what we'll maybe do is we'll maybe do those once we've got all the main positioning in for everything else, all the main kind of structural stuff. So let's grab all of our kind of side facing edges. I'm going to try and do this a little bit neater, so I'm going to grab all of these and we'll pull those in. We want to pull these in the same as what we have here. And then that'll allow us to tidy up our interior arch a little bit here. But I'll probably do that in between episodes. I'll do that in between episodes, so we'll pull those in. We'll maybe grab all of these ones. Actually, let's maybe just grab these. And we'll go in this way. Okay. And then that'll allow me to snap over there, which is fine. Let's grab these ones here, and what I'll do with these is I think I will go, actually no, let's go in this way with those. Yeah, that should be okay. Okay, that's all looking fine. And then I think we could just do the same with all of these. And we'll just take all of these in as well. There we go. Okay, so that's looking quite good. So let's go back in and let's think about the geometry we know is nice and easy. So let's grab this bit here and we're going to go to Edit Mesh and hit Bevel. I want to make sure we're selecting the undersides as well, which we are. So we'll go Edit Mesh and we're going to hit Bevel. It's getting nice and close to this top, and we're going to reduce that down to 0.02. So 0.02 looks good, and I'm going to drop into 2 segments. Okay. Let's grab our insert edge loop and let's drop one just here. And then we can also drop one straight across there, so that's nice and easy. So if we remove the wireframe here, let's see. That's tying up there nice. Okay, so we can see that we're starting to get this nice defined line running down there, which is good. And we're nice and defined down here too. The panel gap doesn't look great. So maybe we're going to pull this a little bit closer. Okay, so that's looking better, looking a lot neater, which is good. So we want to run a line, let's maybe take all of this because we'll maybe want this to go at a similar angle as we have up there. Let me just grab both of those. Something like that. Just so that's going to keep flowing down. We are going to want to grab an edge loop and insert it so it runs along this top edge. And you can see we've got a little bit of an issue down here. So let's firstly grab our insert edge loop and we're going to drop one nice and close all the way down there. Let's drop in a point just here, which means we can drop an edge loop at that top portion. We can draw in with our multi-cut here now. And we're going to come around this corner and down here. And then let's think about cleaning this up. So let's bring that vertices over here. And I'm just going to turn on my edge slice. Can't do that, so let's just go like this. And we'll merge this one over here. Do something like that, just so it's going to run around and off of there. Okay, so now we can see we've got a nice sharp edge there too, which is good. Let's run an edge down here and here. So that's kind of like the ridge where the parking sensors are, which are down here. That's looking good. It looks like this one though, we want to delete these extra edges that we've just added here, because we are going to want to run these down and around. So I'm just going to isolate my selection. I'm going to draw in a placeholder point just there. I'm going to run around this corner like that. And I'm going to merge those two vertices. Actually, let me do that, and then insert an edge loop to run along the bottom instead. And I can bring that down there, which is fine. And then get rid of that extra edge. Okay, so that's going to run down and it's not going to give us an extra crease there, which is fine. We are going to want to add, I think, an edge loop maybe about here. Something like that. just to help the light pass the correct way, I think, down there. Just trying to check on my references. I think that should be okay. I think I'm happy with the definition of that crease that's running along there. And then we do want to grab an edge loop and bring it down here. And here. And then we'll bring a line to fill in that gap to help support that lower section. So I'm just having a look here, and I'm just thinking we need to do a few things. One is smooth this turn out a little bit more. Something like that. It's a little bit too wavy, so that's looking good. And then we need to shore up this corner. So let's grab an edge loop and we'll drop one just here. Okay. I'm gonna grab another edge loop and maybe drop one about here. And then we're gonna want to move that there. Because this curve here is far less severe, so let's pull that down, something like that. I'm just going to do this in a smooth view so we can kind of get an idea of how that should flow. Okay, so that's looking good, so we've got a nice little bit of curve there. So let's think about the parking sensors. Maybe we won't have time to do them fully, but we did add in the space required. Let's just have a go at quickly trying to throw these in here. So I'm going to bring in another cylinder here, and I'm going to reduce the subdivisions down. I think 8 should be fine. What we'll need to do is wherever we have these parking sensors, we will need to add an additional line. And when we add this in, we just want to make sure that we're still smoothing. Like that. And then we'll drop one down the center here. And again, we just want to make sure we're not going to make that too rigid. Okay. So that's still looking okay, which is good. Let's bring this in and rotate this around here. We'll probably need to run another line as well, because we do have the kind of halfway point. I just need to make sure that this isn't going to be looking so I'm just grabbing that extra line and just making sure it's curving nicely around there. Okay, and then in my rear view, what we'll do is we'll just get this sized up. Just going to reduce this right down. Just like that. And what I think I'll do, let me just duplicate that across. We'll drop that in. And then with this insert edge loop on the main body, what we want is we want a line to run through the center of that. So that line's running around there, which is fine. and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate this around here, something like that, just so the points match as close as possible, going up and then to the sides here. So maybe something like that. Okay. What I can do is, with my edge slide transform on, we'll bring this up. We can take that down. So we'll maybe get those vertical lines matched. We'll do something like that. Yeah. I'm just going to check there. We're still looking good all the way around there, which is fine. So in the next episode, what we'll do is we'll maybe continue with that, with the parking sensors there. We'll bring those in, and then we'll take them inset into the bumper, and then we can extrude those in to do what we want to do with them. This isn't looking the cleanest anymore because of these additional edges. So maybe what I'll do is in between episodes, I'll maybe have a go at just cleaning up that corner there, so that we're good to go straight away when we get back in for the series next time, and I'll just do a little brief overview of what I've done to clean that up. I guess if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and want to keep up to date with the series, and I will see you guys in the next one.